Hello, I'm really sorry there is some issue going on and that's why there is some problem in the broadcast. So we should start now. We all know we have three parts in the speaking. The very first part is the introduction questions that are related to you. Those can be about your education, about your hobbies, and what you do in your day-to-day life. And the second one is the part two, which is a cue card, which is you have to speak for 2 minutes, and you will be given time for 1 minute to speak to plan your cue card. And the third one is the follow-up questions. Those are related to cue card. Maybe they are related or maybe they are not related. So this is how the test is conducted, and usually the speaking goes for 11 to 14 minutes. That can vary, and so we will start from the part one topics. So on your screen, you can see the topics that I have written. Those can be about you, about your studies, about your work, your town, your free time, like what you do in your free time, boats, birds, animals, holidays, sports, transport, shopping, toys, gifts, mirrors, and time management. And there are many more topics as well, which we have and which we have so many PDFs. So you can do it from there. So in this part, what happens is when your speaking is started, you will be asked a question like, "What is your full name?" You have to tell your name according to your passport, whatever is given there, and then you have to answer these questions in 2 to 3 sentences. There is no need to speak more than that because this is just an introduction. So you can give your introduction in these questions. You can speak for up to 2 to 3 sentences. That is sufficient, I guess. And these are the topics that are mostly asked, so you must prepare all these because this is the thing from which they are judging you. So you need to be very much you need to have very much experience in this one. Try and do a lot of practice of the part one topic. Okay, so the next thing is, when you are preparing, do not cram your answers. It's not about cramming because it's about that when you are in the examination, what you have to do is you can get any question while you are doing the preparation, you cram the answer. Maybe in the exam there is something there is that is different. So your answer you will lose band. Okay, so this is the main thing. Do not cram your answers in speaking. Do a lot of practice so that you can be confident and you do not face any issue while you are while you're doing your speaking. Okay, so in these topics, do you have any issue or do you have any questions regarding the speaking part one? We have one question. How important is to use linkers in speaking? Linkers are really important in speaking, mostly when we are in the second part, that is cue card. There it's must and you should use linkers because the examiner, he will come to know that you are going to add one point, you're going to add second point. Now you are telling something, you are now going to conclude. So all these things, this all depends upon how well you use the linkers. Okay, so they are important to use. You must use them, but do not overdo. Overdoing is going to give you negative impact. So do not do that. Just use 2 to 3 linkers, 3 to 4 linkers. That is sufficient. Any other questions about the part one? If you want to ask anything for part one topics, anything you want to know? Yes, sports topic is used frequently. I've seen that most of the students they are asked this question all over the world. So try to use. I have written the topics that are mostly asked. So we have a lot many topics. So you just need to do a lot of practice. Speaking is all about practice because it's not like you just go to the speaking and you will start on speaking and you will get 7 or 8 bands. It depends how much hard work you are doing and how you are answering the questions. Just get yourself evaluated, get some training, because that is how you come to know where you stand and how much efforts you need to put. This is really important because if you do not know that what mistakes you are doing, you're going to repeat those mistakes in the exam as well. So do not do that. Okay. And sometimes students, they add vocabulary, and sometimes when we add vocabulary, we are not aware of the pronunciation. When this thing happens, so we will lose band because we have one rubric of pronunciation as well. So if we are doing the pronunciation in the wrong way, that is going to harm. That is going to have a negative impact on our result. So try not to do all these mistakes. Okay. So there is one question. We just need to give the facts in the part right, or we can cook up story to answer if we haven't encountered. Yes, you have to cook up stories whenever it's possible, whenever there is something that you haven't faced in your life. Because the thing is, not everything we have faced. Like some students, they have never been to foreign countries because we are trying to go to foreign countries. So this is not possible that everyone has gone to. So in that case, you will cook up a story if you get something like if you have spent some time abroad or something like that. So you have to do all this. This is what speaking is all about because you have to brainstorm right away. You have to answer it right away. You can't say that you haven't faced and this is the issue or whatever. Whatever question is being asked, you have to answer. So, this is the main thing. Whatever is there, you have to understand, you have to answer. This is really important. Okay. Other questions? And the main thing is keep it very simple. When you keep it simple and while you are thinking, your thinking process should be in English. Do not translate in your mind. Because when you think in English, you will speak in English. While you are thinking in your mother tongue and you are translating, that takes up a lot of time. So there comes the unnatural sounds and the pauses. So those you need to avoid to get your desired band score. These are the things that you need to do if you want to score 7 or 7 plus band score. Okay. Any other questions for speaking part 1? Or any topic if you find difficult, you can let me know. So we can discuss, we can have some ideas, we can brainstorm any topic if you find difficult in part one so that we can proceed to part two if there is no issue. Anyone? Okay, it's done. Mainly students, they have issues with the part two because that is something very tricky. They have to cook up a story, they have to speak for 2 minutes, so there they find it difficult. Otherwise, speaking part one, I think all the students they can tackle it well. But still, you have to be good in part two as well. Yes, you're right, Yogesh. We have to do a lot of practice because if we are not practicing on daily basis, then you will face the issue. You will not be confident, and there you will face some problems. Okay, so the problems you guys are having is both. Okay, so in this type, we get the questions about have you ever been to a boat or during a holiday, or do you like to buy a boat, or people in your country? Do they travel through boats or something like that? These type of questions are there regarding boats. And I want to know about work topic. Yes, what do you want to know about work topic? That is going to be about your work, whatever you're doing. If you're a student, then this topic will not be there. So they will ask you about your student, like your studies, whatever you're doing. So work is for those who are working. They will ask you beforehand. So the questions will be like that only. Mirrors. Yeah, mirrors. The questions of mirrors are like, do you have a look at yourself in the mirror? How often do you do that? And do you want to buy mirrors? And have you ever bought a mirror in your life? And yeah, one question was there. Do you want to decorate your room with mirrors? And how do you select mirrors? How do you buy mirrors? All these questions can be there. Okay, and you can you can cook up a story for these questions as well, because maybe we haven't bought mirrors or something, but you have to elaborate, you have to tell something that yes, you have bought. If you didn't, if you can answer in negative, then you can say no, I didn't buy mirrors in my life. So this is how you have to answer. So main thing is you have to conversate in English, and that should be convincing enough that the examiner can understand whatever you are saying. Okay. Any other doubts about any topic or anything you want to know about part one? Let me know. I have a PDF where all these topics are there. I will be sending in the WhatsApp group. So after this class, I will be sending it so that you can see and do practice from there. Akash is asking some suggestions on how he can improve his speaking. For speaking, the main thing is to do a lot of practice, to have knowledge of a lot of topics, like these topics we are saying, like mirror, shopping, and all these topics are there. So you have to do a lot of practice. You need to have knowledge about this. If you do not have anyone to speak with, try to record your voice. Try to listen to yourself and see if it is convincing, and if you can, and if you are able to convince the examiner, if you are able to give your points in a good way, that will fetch more band score. So this is what you have to do. The main thing is to do a lot of practice. You can find my WhatsApp number in other videos. They are always at the end. You can check it there and just send me a message so that I can add you to my WhatsApp group. Okay, so we will start with the part two. The part one is very simple. The main thing that you have to do is just answer the questions in 2 to 3 sentences. Be confident and try to practice, do a lot of practice before your exam so that you do not find yourself in hard conditions, or maybe you haven't been in that situation. So that those kind of things you can omit from your life when you have done a lot of practice. Okay, so the next thing is we have the second part. This is known as solo speaking, because you will be the one who is speaking. In this one, you will be given a cue card. Suppose this is a cue card that you are given. You will be given 1 minute. Notes will be, you can make notes. You can write, there will be pen and paper. You can write the vocabulary which is coming in the mind. And now I will tell you how to utilize that 1 minute that is given to you. You will read the question quickly, then you have to understand which tense you need to use. Because students, while speaking, they have the issue with the tenses. Suppose if I talk about this cue card, this is about you've met someone, it is about past. So you have to use the past tense here. But students, while speaking, they speak in the present tense. So this is how you will get less scores. So understand which tenses to use and try to write the vocabulary which is coming in your mind, like who the person was, write the name. And who was that? Like school friend, neighborhood, something, whatever is coming in your mind that you have to write. Where you met, write the place where you met and why you met him or again and how, like how you met. There is the story would be like you will start with some general introduction. You can simply say that in day-to-day life we keep on meeting a lot of people, and here I would like to describe a time when I met a friend after a very long time. Then you will come to the main thing, who the person was, and now you have to tell that why after a long time you're meeting that person. So you will tell here that I met my school friend and we met after 10 years because after schools we joined different colleges. So we were not in touch, and this is why I met her after that much time and I was surprised. You can say that I was doing shopping in some shopping center and someone tapped on my shoulder. I was surprised to see that my school friend is standing in front of me. I was very ecstatic, or you can say I was very excited to see her. All these vocabularies you should use because with vocabulary you can get good band score, but do not overdo and try to use the correct pronunciation for the words that you are learning. Whatever you're learning, try to find the meaning, where to use them, and how to use them. Because if you're using the vocabulary in wrong context, then also it will be an issue and you will get negative marking and your band score will be low. Okay. And then when you are telling how you met, how is where you met and how, what conditions were there, and you can tell that how, what things you discussed, and explain if you would like to get to know this person better. This is what you have to include. Some students, what they do is they include only 3 bullet points and they leave the question that is in the end, because mostly they ask, explain how you feel, explain how you felt. So this question you must answer at the end. You should answer that yes, I want to know this person better because when I was studying, we didn't have much time to know each other, and there was some communication gap between us. But now, as she is living nearby, I would like to meet her in my day-to-day life, and I want to know her better. So this is how you will answer. And after that 1 minute, you have prepared everything. Just write everything. Write whatever is coming in your mind. Do not write sentences, just write the words. And when you start speaking, do not stop until the examiner is telling you to. Just stop when the examiner is telling, because I have seen in many cases they stop you after 1 minute. So this is going to be okay for you, because when they stop you, that is going to be a positive thing. Okay, so just do this. And when you are doing your cue card, do not go out of the topic. Try to stay on the topic, even if suppose you have answered all the questions, you're not getting anything to speak. Try to add more points about the same thing. Like if here, suppose I'm not getting anything and the examiner is not stopping me, so you will add something about your friendship, your bond with that person, and how you want that bond to grow stronger with time. This is what you can do, but try to stay on the topic as much as you can. Okay, so any doubts in cue card and how to speak on a cue card, whatever doubts, or if any cue card you find difficult, you can let me know so that we can discuss the ideas and others will also help. Just let me know if there is any doubt with the cue card. Any doubts? Anything you want to know about second part. Any questions or any cue card that you find hard, that you're not getting ideas, or maybe you're not able to speak for 2 minutes? Yes, ask the doubt, Akash. What doubt you have about one cue card? Just let me know. When people behave bad in public. This question is actually children behave bad in public. This is the topic. Talk about the time when when you have seen children behaving badly in the public. I have seen that one. That is a bit confusing as well. So, any ideas, guys? Can you tell some ideas for this one? Children behaving badly in the public. How and what you can say. You can do one thing. When you are talking about this, you will cook up a story that you were in a park or you were doing shopping somewhere. Okay. So then you will see that some children were fighting, or some children were, yeah, you can say some children were fighting when you were in the park. And you will say that they were creating a lot of noise, and which was, then you can say that there was nothing, there was no such issue. They just created an issue out of nothing. So they were shouting at each other, so they were using some kind of language which was not appropriate to use in the public. So you can create a story like this, and then you can tell that the things their parents came to know about it, then they reached there and handled the situation. But still the children, they were not understanding, and they were not listening to their parents. So this is how we behave badly when we shout, or when we create some scene out of nothing. This is how you can talk about children. And then in the end, you can say that none of the people were interfering and were trying to pacify the people over there. So then you can say that people, they need to understand that children, uh, they have to be told what is wrong and what is right. So the parents and society and teachers, all they need to join hands, so that they can make the children learn that what is wrong and what is right, and how to behave in public. So this is how you can keep on speaking when you will have no ideas about it. Like after 1 or 1.5 minutes, you will be having no ideas. Then you can, start some general information, and how the children can behave good in public, and how parents, teachers, and society can play a good role, and how they can set examples in front of the children, that how what is good behavior and what is bad behavior, and how they need to behave in public, and how they need to respect others. This is what you can do. Okay, and one question is there: can we play around the main topic within boundaries? Yes, 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 you can. When sometimes there are some topics when we do not get anything. After 1 minute, we are blank, we do not get any ideas. So yeah, you can speak on, but stay on the topic. It should be nearby. Not if you're, suppose if you're talking about your family, you're talking about your friends. This is something very different. So try to stay on the topic as much as you can. This is the main thing that you have to. Um, yes, you can talk about a party as well. Like there is one suggestion by Yogesh that there was some party, and there were a lot of children. So when children are there, they are going to misbehave. So you can say there was some fight over something. Maybe they were wanting to have something or something like that. Then there was a scene created. The children, they started shouting, they started fighting with each other. So all these things you can include here. You have to just give a situation. Maybe it can be a shopping mall, it can be a party, it can be park. Whatever you feel, that is okay. General statement is crucial in Q card. Yes, you should give a general statement because when you start, you can't start right away from the topic. Just give one brief introduction about the topic. That is going to add one sentence to your speaking and it will be impressive as well. Any other doubts or questions you have about part 2 or any Q card that you find difficult to tackle, just let me know so that we can discuss anything. Try to be simple as much as you can because that is going to be in favor of you. Because suppose if you're trying to add some vocabulary, but you're not getting any idea, then you will stop. And when pauses are there, you are going to get negative marking. Any other questions or doubts, please? Yes, I have planned that we will be doing giveaways. And so in that, I can take interviews, but still, we just started yesterday only. So we will be doing giveaways maybe in a 3 4 days. We will be doing all that. In that, what we can do is, you can have your speaking session with me, or you can get your writings checked. So we will be doing the giveaways for the people who are regular and who are active in these videos and who are doing the homeworks that I am giving. So this is what I have planned. So I will conduct an interview if you will be regular and will be doing everything whatever I'm telling you to. Okay? Yes, children are mischievous. Correct. Anything else? Any other questions? Any cue card that you find difficult or anything you want to know about the planning of a cue card and the way to speak? Let me know, please. So, should we start the part 3? The question is there that are we going to get negative marking if we can't give variety of tenses during speaking? It's a good thing when you give a variety of tenses, like suppose the introduction questions, they are mostly going to be in your present, and the cue card that is going to be mostly in the past, and sometimes you can add some detail about the future as well. Okay, and the follow-up questions. In that, you must use variety of tenses, variety of sentences as well. because this is how you can let the examiner know that you have you know all these things, and that is the time to let the examiner know that what things you are aware of and how you can include all the tenses that you know in your speaking. So this is a good thing, it's a positive thing if you do. Yes, this is the best thing when you are doing speaking. Vocabulary and ideas, yeah, they will not work until and unless you are doing. The main thing is you have to do a lot of practice, understand how to speak, understand how to express yourself, and this is the main thing. Talk about a business leader. Can that be a person whom we know personally, like any relatives? Yeah, if there is anything specific that someone international or national, then you have to talk about some known personalities. But if it's about business leader, you can talk about your relatives. That is completely fine. That is all right. There is no such issue. You just need to stay on the topic. You just need to explain the details, and you need to explain whatever is being asked in the question. So there is no such issue. But there is one topic that I want to tell is I'm typing it. This is one topic, a family you admire other than your family. See, sometimes what happens is the question is only a family you admire. You can talk about your family, but when they say other than your family, do not speak about your family. Try to include someone else. Maybe you're talking about your family, but tell that they are your friend's family or they are some relatives. Do not talk about your immediate family members here. When the question is clearly asking about a family other than your family, which is not your blood. Okay, just change the words. If you're talking about your family, just tell that they are my friend, they are my friend's parents or something like that. Just add on the points about the friend, and just this is how you have to take understand the question, understand whatever they are asking, because the questions are generally same, but what they do is they add or delete one thing. Suppose you're doing practice for some from some online sources or from some anything anywhere, but the questions, maybe you will get the same questions in your exam. There is something that they can add or there is something they can delete. So you just need to understand this thing. Whatever is given there, try to listen to the examiner carefully and read the cue card carefully so that you do not go out of the topic. Okay, so should we start with the third part? Should we? Okay, so we will start with the speaking part 3. This this is the follow-up question. They can be related to your cue card, or maybe they can be something different. This question, like those which we have for follow-up questions, those you should answer in 4 to 5 sentences. Try to elaborate, because this is how you let the examiner know your fluency, your way of speaking, and your knowledge and the practice that you have done. This is how you have to show. Like the question is, do you think childhood friendship can last for long? You will include, give examples. You can give example that I have a friend who is from my school and we are very close. We know all the secrets. All these things you can include here. Try to use variety of tenses and sentences in the part 3. This is must because this is the main thing where you are being judged. Try to uh, answer in 4 to 5 sentences, maybe 6 sentences. This is really important. Okay. Any doubt in part three questions? How to answer what, or if you have any questions or doubts regarding any topic, you can let me know. Because the questions are very simple. Just the thing is, you have to add detail. If you're not adding detail, that is going to have some problem. Just add the detail, whatever is being asked, answer that, add some kind of examples, add some kind of experiences that you have about that topic. This is how you answer the part three. Any questions, any doubts, or anything you want to know about part three? There will be 5 to 7 questions that you have to answer, and you will be asked a question, and when you are answering, do not stop in between. Like some students, what they do is after 3 sentences, they stop. And then the examiner will ask you another question. It should be flowy enough that the examiner can come to know that you are continuing. This happens with some of my students when I'm taking their speaking. They stop and ask another question. So this is a bit confusing. Your tone, your way of speaking should let the examiner know that you're going to conclude. This is really important. When you are doing your speaking, try to use some kind of words, some kind of linkers that let the examiner know that you're going to end it up. Something like that. The way you speak. Do not stop in between. Answer the question properly. Whatever you know, answer it. Okay. Even if you haven't experienced, then also you will have to answer. Just try to brainstorm, think about something, and speak. Any questions or anything you want to know about speaking part three, or if you have anything that you find difficult to answer, you can let me know. No doubts? Anything you want to know? Anything you want to know about today's session? Anything is coming in your mind, you can let me know. Otherwise, we will be concluding this session. Okay, I assume you do not have any doubts, so we can conclude. Still, if you're having any doubts, you can let me know in the group so that I can answer. And I'm just waiting if anyone asks anything. Okay, we have one question. Is there a specific number of questions fixed for Q card or it vary? Mostly we have three questions, and the last one is the feeling, what you felt about it, or so. I'll show you. This is how the Q card is. You have three bulleted points, and the one is last one that you have to answer. That is about explanation. Your feeling, the way you felt, and how you felt about it. This is what is going to be there. Mostly we have three questions only. Or you want to ask something else? Cue cards can be, you know, it can be anything. In the cue card, you can get any question from anywhere. You just need to be prepared. Because when you are doing practice on daily basis, you can tackle anything. So this is not the issue. When you are doing practice, you will be brainstorming, you will be understanding, you will be speaking for 2 minutes. So it will be easy for you. Just do a lot of practice before your exam. Okay. Yes, Avesh, we have 6 to 8 questions in speaking part three. That can vary because some students they are asked only 4 questions, but mostly I have seen that 6 to 8 questions are there. But that can vary. That can vary upon the examination conditions and where your examination is conducted. So that happens nowadays because of this pandemic. The time of the speaking is very less, so students get free after 8 to 10 minutes as well. So this is happening now, but we can never expect anything. Any other questions? I think we have no questions. I have a WhatsApp group where I answer all the questions. If you want to find, you can check my other videos. My contact details are at the end. You can find that, and you can join that group where I answer, so that it will be easy for you to ask your questions in the future as well. Anything else? Okay, so see you tomorrow at the same time. Thanks for your participation. Thank you so much, guys. I'm still waiting for the questions if you have any, but I think, yeah, okay, so you do not have any questions. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, then see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.